Okay, now we're moving forward on our C2 front fenders. It gives us our 1.5" flare, and we've done a little modification to this to make it easy to put on. We've brought up to, we go to the peak and come down an 1.5 inches. So we're taking a piece of 1.5 inches masking tape, running it down the peak, hitting it with a Sharpie, and cutting through there and removing it, which are the pictures you've already seen. So we bring that cut all the way down, our 1.5 inches from the peak this way, and into the headlight bonding strip. And so we've made our cut, then we come down here to the factory bonding strip that holds the lower valance on, and we've come in here and V'd it out, so we knock that fender off. So we've taken the parking light panel, part of the hood surround at the front, the rear part of the hood surround, and the lower side fender, we've taken it all off the car. Purpose of that is to make it quicker to put back together, easier and better. So we've incorporated, we made a bonding strip. Tooled up, made a bonding strip, have the mold. This bonding strip tucks in the back, is notched to come around there, comes right up inside of here, clamp it. You come up here, do the same. You're going to come in here and clamp it. In case you haven't seen some of our previous posts, we always talk about no screws. Kind of learned over the years that if you use a screw, yeah, you think it's hidden in the beginning, but you come back and look at it 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you see that little tiny screw hose shrinking up on you. So we never ever use screws. So we have our bonding strip in place. I'm going to come back with my Sharpie and I'm going to mark this bonding strip where it's coming up here. And then I'm going to put one arrow right here as a reference point to line it up, and another one right here. So now I've got it, it's been fitted. Keep in mind, everything was prepped before. Ground, every place we're going to bond has been grounded. The back side of the hood surround has been grounded. The inner fender has been grounded. So I want to put this securely so when I come back with my bonding material, I'm going to squirt that bonding material right on this bonding strip and then sneak it up in there. One nice easy fit. So in this case, the headlight assembly's out. Don't have to take it out to do what we're doing. This is where you're coming into play at it. Just put a little clamp. I'm going to hold my quarter pan or my bonding strip in place. And now we're going to take a little pause and go over to our epoxy bench. And I'm going to show you about mixing up our epoxy. So we're at the epoxy table. I've been a firm believer in epoxy. I started in this business in 1972. I remember in 1973 we hung a quarter panel at the shop I was working at. And the next morning the quarter panel was laying on the floor. And it was made of a new compound called SMC, sheet molded compound. And what everybody used back then, sheet molded compound wouldn't stick to it. So they researched and started using epoxies. And so ever since 1972, I've been kind of programmed to use epoxy. It takes a while to kick, which is a good thing because it gives you a longer pot life, is what you want to call it. So you're not speeding up to do stuff. So I like mixing all my epoxy. We have epoxy called Pro Set that is available through us if you want to buy it from us. It's a two-part epoxy. So you're going to use, for an example, with the epoxy itself, the Pro Set ADV 175, it's a black product. We're going to mix up, for what we're doing with our bonding strip, we're going to mix 200 grams just to play it safe. No, I'm going to take that back to 100 grams. We're going to use 50 grams of the hardener. And so it's pretty simple to do. It can get kind of messy, but one of the nice things I like about this, we have a gram scale. It's zeroed out to our cup. Gordon's, Amazon, tongue depressors, a couple of our best friends. So we come in here, we're going to dig out 100 grams of the epoxy.
Okay.
So this epoxy is a 2-to-1 mix. So we're going 100 grams of the epoxy, 50 grams of the hardener. Nice thing about this is you can mix as little as you need. As little as you want. You don't have to do it with a gun system where it already mixes probably 20 grams or so before you even get it out of the gun. We're mixing what we want. 2-to-1, 2 parts of epoxy, 1 part of hardener. And so it's mixed. Keep in mind, again, this has probably a good 30-minute pot life at 70 degrees. So you really don't have to sweat it too much. If you keep it into a volume, which we have it in a cup, it's in a volume, it's going to kick quicker. We're going to put it in a Ziploc freezer baggie, because this Ziploc freezer baggie is going to make us be able to put this thing on in a single line and very quickly. Okay, once you get it out of the mass of the cup and out of the bag, it's going to take even longer to kick then. If we were to leave it in this bag, it would be hot in 30 minutes. So we seal off the bag. We take our razor blade knife. We cut the corner that we're going to squirt it out of, and we cut a little bit at the opposite end to get the air out. And then we twist the bag down. By the way, guys, if you want to score at Christmas time and help decorate cookies, this will get it for you. Come on over here. To put epoxy on both pieces that we're putting together. And so this hood surround is going to be a little tricky, but if you just take and feed it in here with your stick, that way I know it's getting on the back side of it. But we're getting it fed down here to where it's getting on the back side of the fender as well. Now we're going to come up here to our bonding strip, and we're going to apply it to our bonding strip. You see our method with the baggie. Makes it pretty simple. And we're going to reposition it. You notice on the back it tucks in here. So it tucks in there at the back, goes underneath it. We bring it up to where our arrows are lining up. And we start applying our clamps. Make sure our line's hidden. Clamp it. Clamp it, and it's oozing out just like we want a little bit to ooze out. And then I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to come back and get rid of this little excess. So what we've done here is we've created our own bonding strip and put this car back together the way it was originally built, with bonding strips. That's kind of my philosophy, is to use bonding strips and epoxy on everything. Epoxy has a nice pot life, and epoxy, the other thing with epoxy is it doesn't shrink up. And so when we're building a car, we're using epoxies. We're going to put heat lamps on this and totally get a 100% cure. So we post cure everything. So we take it up to about 130, 140 degrees, and anything fiberglass usually cures to its hottest temperature. And so we want to get it hotter than it will be outside in the summer at a car show, so you don't have any shrink problems. So all the parts that we build, we use vinyl ester resin, which is a very high grade resin, and everything we put together is with epoxy. We have as few amount of seams as possible. You got to think here, we have one seam going here where GM had 3 seams. So we've basically eliminated a seam here and down on the parking light panel and inside the wheel well. So now we're going to get our custom 1.5 flare that will come back after this is cured and show you that. Thank you.